This is the book of the 1 Corinthians 3 and 13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall reveal by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. And to that, there's a brother Karatazar back at you with another short lesson. Alright? And to that, we like to say, Kal Halayam, La Alahayanawa Yahawa Bahashem Yahawashai, Bahashem Ka Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well. Shalom unto the brothers that pushing his works, his truth, and his sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom unto the Israelites who have been scattered among the heathen nations. And shalom unto the Akwat, which is the sisters who is listening and learning. And most importantly, obeying their husband. This is your brother Karatazar from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp out of Trinidad and Tobago. Right? So within these times, right, you're gonna get trials. Walking this walk, talking the talk, you are going to get trials, right? No man is not gonna get exempted from that. Every man is going to get his trials, right? Every man got his trials in a different way. Your trials may not be another man's trial, right? So, some men, get torn mentally, some get torn physically, how to deal with different sicknesses, right? Some men get torn financially, even both ways, mentally and physically, right? Yes, mentally and physically, and also mentally and financially as well, right? And then go vice versa, right? Physically and financially, right? And then dealing with a whole bunch of other shit, right? But once we're doing this work for the Lord, you are going to get tried, right? You're going to get afflicted. The tribulations will come. Alright? And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Alright? It shall be revealed by fire. Right? That your trial and the tribulation, right? That your trial and tribulations, right, by that fire, right? So just know, right, with that Yahweh, put you in this certain situation, right, which I would say in this tribulation, to try you or test you, right, so to speak, right, to see what you will do within your temptation when the trial comes. Right? But trust and believe, right? Trust and believe, but it is not just, this is not just like with it not just like that, so basically, what it don't feel good, right? We are in this defiled body, right? Sometimes it feel heavy, right? Because it's not so well when you're going through tribulations, it's not supposed to feel good anyway. Right? It's something that breaks you down to build you back up. It comes like when you're exercising. What you're basically doing, you're actually tearing the muscle. So the muscle have to tear down to be able to repair itself, to get stronger, layer by layer. Right? So going through these different afflictions and these things, when it comes like that, trials and with the trials equals growth is strength. Trials and growth equals strength. Right? Because when you come out of that, how do you feel? You feel up, you feel strong. Alright, I conquer this phase here now. Right? We conquer this phase. Right? But when the fire burns you, when the fire burns you, it doesn't feel good. No. Right? And with that trial is necessary for the next level. It is necessary for the next level. Alright? This is the book of John 12 and verse 40. It reads, He had blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, which is a mind, that they shall not see with their eyes, nor understand with their hearts, nor understand with their mind, right? And be converted, and I shall heal them, right? So sometimes, sometimes Yahweh, may not be as generous as we like him to be, right? But the affliction force you, to fight, come out of that comfort zone that you're in, into that comforting mindset with that you're in, right? And that now forces you to fight, forces you to stay, fight for something, fight for your crown, right? Because you wanna stay doing the Lord's work until death do your part, right? But all of that, is to stay in that shining light, right? Right? Because he can deter you, right, of the isolation of his word, and that is something that you don't want, right? Or even push you into the darkness where you cannot even hear his words, right? But don't say, why me? Accept the challenge, accept the challenges, and just continue pressing. Accept the challenges and continue pressing. Sometimes it's hard to accept the challenge, but sometimes we come to the realization that we have a choice. And let me tell you, what is our choice? You have no choice. You have no choice. You just have to push it on through. You just have to push it on through. Alright, let's get Hebrews 12 and 6. Just now before that, I'm gonna get at Acts 14 and 22. It said, confirming the souls of the disciples and exalting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of power. Right? We have to go through these things. Alright? Remember, the Lord also told us, that we will judge angels. We are basically gods. We are, the Lord just put us as a lower form, right? We're to die like men, but we are God just at a lower form of power, right? So we must go through his trials to put off the corruptible things. right? To be for us, when we go into the kingdom, right? To be in that righteous state of mind, to be in that body where we feel no pain, where we will not die. Alright? But when it gets some thought to the kingdom, Lord also meant Yahweh Shai also mentions to us that that his Father is creating many mansions for us. And those mansions are not what you're thinking about, like you're seeing this big palace, this big mansion, and this 3-4 stories house, and no. These mansions are planets. These mansions are planets. Right? This is why the Lord is changing the Lord will change our bodies to handle certain pressures and all these things, and because some planets the oxygen level gonna be different, right? In that sort of speaking as a man, as I say that, right? Because which and truly I kind of show off a bit when I said that, right? Whether the oxygen in some planets might probably be different, right? Because when you watch certain things with like in NASA and stuff like that, where it says different planets are different, right? You're gonna adapt to certain other planets and whatnot and so forth. But yet in that way, I cannot fathom in how certain planets are going to be. All right. So I'm gonna correct myself on that, right? But we had to continue it in this faith, man, to get those new bodies, right? You know what, you have a mansion, right? The Lord put you in control of our whole planet. This is why, we have to go through these things, to be a righteous ruler, right? So let's go to this is the book of Hebrews 12 and 6, and it said, for whom Yahweh loveth, he chastiseth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Right? Because for when you come into this truth, right, you have to know, right, you have to know what you're signing up for. Because this truth is not no game in the park or some arcade. No, this is serious shit, man. This is serious shit. Right? Right? Some people cannot take the heat. Some people just cannot take the heat. Right? Verse 7, if ye endure chastening, Yahweh dwelleth with you and with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Right? And that heat, right, is like a hot kitchen. You ever work in a bakery? Or you ever work in a kitchen? You ever feel that heat, that constant heat? Yeah, that is like what we're going through every day. We underneath that heat every day, man. Right? The heat is that kitchen. Right? Right? They some men will basically run out. Right? Some men will basically run out. But those that stay keep cooking. You gotta keep cooking. Gotta keep cooking. Right? That goes back like Isaac and Meshach and Abednego. Right? Because they stand firmly, right, for the Lord's name when there was in that fire. Right? An angel came amongst them, and kept them cool within that blazing heat. And that's how powerful that the Lord is. Right? verse 8. But if ye be without chastening, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all partakers, then are he bastards and not sons. Right? Again, the Lord is dealing with you when he chastises you. Right? If you're not going through but if you're not going through these things within the world, right? But that's a troubling thing, because that means the Lord ain't dealing with you. Alright? That means he is not dealing with you. Right? Right? There's the book of Wisdom of Solomon 3:5. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and founded them worthy for himself. Right? And you see here, he say here, right? He said, and having been a little chastised. Yo, that's here a lot. As I go back to our bodies, you know, we are in this chain of darkness. We are terrestrial beings, which goes back to the spirit in this body having a physical experience, right? And we are in the chain of darkness, which is this defiled body, right? That's why Wisdom of Solomon 3 said here, and having been a little chastised. But it feels heavy, man. It feels heavy. You know, sometimes you're like, bro, am I going to conquer this one? Am I going to get out of this? Right? But yet it is a little chastised. So that's why we are the holy faith. We are the holy faith. Right? We have to hold this faith. Right? Right? It's all, but at the end of the day, it is all to lift us up within his spirit. Right? Verse 6, as gold in the furnace had he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. Right? Verse 8, verse 7, and in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people. Right? That is in the kingdom. That is surely coming. Alright? And their Lord, right, which is Yahweh Bashim Shai, shall regain forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. And such as be faithful in the love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints. And he had care for his elect. Alright? So hey, when you get in chastised, just know that the Lord care for you. He just want to see you do better. Right? That's why in the good times it's hit to water Yahweh Shimmer Shai. In the bad times it's hit to water Yahweh Shimmer Shai. Right? Because hey, look, what I doing this, I doing this video here right now, right? And I going through some shit. But hey, to water Yahweh Shimmer Shai. And that way it is, and is that. You know? Yeah. You know? Let me get this other precept here. Right, there's a book of Revelation 3:20, and it said, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me." Right? Verse 21, "To him that overcome will I grant to sit with him in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches." Right? So hey, there's no reason, in being afraid or trying to hide. Because at the end of the day, man, if the Lord knock at your door, right, and you say, "Hey, I appointed you to do my work," you can bend up, twist up, hide, all how. Someday, eventually, you are going to do his work. Right? You are going to do his work, man. Yeah. Right? Alright, there's the book of Sirach 2:4. "Whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." Right? You gotta take the chastisement cheerfully. Right? You're getting corrected, you take that cheerfully. Alright? Because, it all goes back to understanding. The Lord just want to see you do better. Right? Brothers among you, they want to see you do better as well. Right? Verse 5, "For as gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." Right? We still pay for our sins, from in the past, from within our past life, so when we have been brought to a lower estate, take it cheerfully, right? And also be honest with yourself, right? Examine yourself, be honest with yourself as well, right? Let me get a last precept here. Sirach 24. Right, so this is the book of Sirach, also known as Easy Classicus. Right, this is chapter 24, verse 24. It said, "Faith not to be strong in your hour, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him." Right, "For Yahweh Almighty is power alone, and besides him there is no other Savior." Alright, so just do what you have to do for the Lord. Continue pushing. Ask the Lord for wisdom, health, strength, knowledge, understanding, and to send and also you also pray for him to boost your spirit, for you to be more edifying within your videos and stuff like that. These are the things that you mainly ask for, so you improve yourself, right? So this is your brother Karataza, right? I hope that this video was edifying, and to that I would like to say Kal Halayam La Allah Hayanawa Yahawa Bahashem Yabashai Bahashem Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom unto the brothers that pushing his works in truth and in sincerity to all the four corners of the earth. Right? It's your brother Kratos. Until next time, Shalom.